welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm just a girl who likes reading romance, fantasy, romance, paranormal romance, any kind of genre of romance in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. Happy Wednesday! I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today's video is going to be a recommendation for queer romances for Pride Month. I saw Becky at Backsex Reads and Samantha at Books with Samantha do a similar type of video. So I'll leave their channels down below in the description so you can check their videos out. I have 9 books to share with you today. Delilah Green Doesn't Care. And it's about Delilah, who hasn't been back to her hometown since she was a teenager. She gets a call from her stepsister Astrid to be her photographer for her wedding, and she can't say no because Astrid gave her the money to be the photographer. So Delilah reluctantly returns to their small town, and Astrid and Delilah were never close. When her dad died, she kind of retreated onto herself, and so she always felt alone. But when she returns to town, she meets Astrid and her friend group again, and she develops a romance with Astrid's best friend Claire, who is the bookstore owner, a single mom. So it's a single mom, small town romance. And I really liked the Claire and Delilah's romance. It was very sweet. I liked how Delilah developed a relationship with Claire's daughter, and I liked that she cleared up the misunderstanding between her and Astrid and how they began to form a relationship as well. Iced Out by C.E. Ricky. Here we follow Quentin and Oakley. Quentin and Oakley started off as rivals on different high school hockey teams. Oakley comes from hockey royalty. Quentin just likes to play hockey. So they go their separate ways after high school graduation, but they end up being at the same college, playing for the same hockey team. So they have to be on the same team now, when in high school they were rivals. Quentin and Oakley end up at a party. Oakley is openly gay, and Quentin is not, but he starts feeling some type of way towards Oakley. And they're at this party, and one thing leads to another, and Quentin is on his knees, and they agree after the party never to talk about what they did, that Quentin and Oakley essentially fooled around with each other, and they got hot and heavy. But they agreed to never talk about it again. But after that night, they won. Their college hockey team won the hockey game. So they they form a deal with each other that before the hockey game, they should fool around so they keep winning. Eventually, their situation turns into a more, and they start to develop a friendship. It's an enemies to lovers romance, and I really liked it. I liked that Quentin fell first for Oakley. The Sea Witch by Katie Roberts. And I read this for the Once Upon a Readathon. It's a part of Katie Roberts' Wicked Villain series, and it's where the villains get their AGA, and Sea Witch is about Ursula, Ariel, and Prince Eric all being in a polyamorous relationship, while Ursula and Eric has a relationship, but then Ariel comes into the fold, and Ursula is the mistress, and both Eric and Ariel are the submissives, and I liked it. The Rest of Our Story by Tal Bauer. And here we have Morgan, who is transferred, who's almost at the end of his hockey career, and he's in his last year, and he gets transferred to the worst hockey team in the NHL, but when he gets there, he's like, something is weird about this hockey team. All the hockey players are beaten down, and they're not playing how a hockey team should. And he realizes that this one hockey player coach is being mean and beating up all the other hockey players, and they can't say anything about it. So Morgan essentially blows the whistle on coach to the new manager of the hockey team, and she appoints Morgan as the new captain of this hockey team to build this team's morale. And you see Morgan kind of pick the people up, try to teach them actual hockey, that not all hockey players are like this, that this is not how things are supposed to be. And Morgan gives this hockey team hope, and he just builds them back up essentially. And Morgan has a romance with Shay. Shay is his co-captain, and they develop a romance, and it was so sweet. I love this book. It reminded me of the Mighty Ducks. If you like a good underdog story, please read this book. It was so good. I loved it. Jock by Tal Bauer. And here we have Wes on the last year of his college football career. He deciding NFL, and he goes, but Wes keeps a secret. He keeps a secret that he's gay. So he goes to France for the summer. He meets Justin, and Justin and Wes have a whirlwind romance while he's in France. And they thought they would never see each other again. But when West returns to his college to finish out the school year, Justin is in his class. He wants to become a nurse. Apparently, Justin was also on vacation. So Wes has to decide what's more important, keeping his secret from his hockey team or being in a relationship with Justin, because eventually they decide to have this secret relationship, but everything blows up when they saw a picture of Wes and Justin together in France, and everything blows up with his parents too. His dad and his mom divorced because his mom can't accept the fact that he's gay, so his dad divorced his mom. And yeah, so Wes has to decide what's really important to him, and I like this book. I liked Tom Bauer's writing, and it was so sweet. The quarterback, and the quarterback follows the Jock, and it's about Colton, West, his best friend, and his romance with Wes's dad. Colton gets an injury from a football game, and he has to be out for the rest of the season, and he essentially has no one to take care of him because Wes has a new relationship with Justin, and his mom is a lawyer and she can't take off to take care of Wes. His dad, I think his name is Nick, volunteers to take care of Colton. And so Colton and Nick spend time together, and they develop a friendship. Eventually, that friendship turned into more, and it was really sweet. I love the slow burn, forbidden romance of it. I really liked it. It was a best friend's dad romance. Next we have For the Fans, and it's a stepbrother romance. I forgot their names, but the two guys are stepbrothers because their parents remarried each other, got married to each other, and the one guy is a football player and the other guy is an artist. One day, football player's dad loses his job, so he doesn't have the money to pay for their college tuition anymore. So the artist guy's best friend tells him about that she is a cam girl and she has an OnlyFans, and that she does that to pay for her college tuition, and you should think about doing the same. One thing leads to another, and the football player is also involved in this situation because he does not want to move back in with his parents, so they're both in this situation together. It's an enemies to lovers slow burn romance. By awakening, well, from the artist character, but the football player always knew that he was gay, but he hides he hides that fact because of a traumatic experience. Enemies to friends to lovers. We Broke by Marley Valentine, and it's a marriage in trouble romance. The two characters, their surrogate. It was a stillbirth. Their baby. So, and their surrogate was their best friend and the mother of the one guy's daughter. So they lost the baby. One of the guys starts to pull away from their marriage and he wants a divorce, and the other guy is trying desperately to hold on to his marriage. And it's them trying to figure out what they want in their relationship. And I loved it. It was so good. I read this book because of Caitlin. And the flashbacks were nice to see. The flashbacks, because it goes back and forth between the past and the present, and you can really see that these two are meant to be together, and how they found their way back to each other was so beautiful. I read this book because of Caitlin from the Love Librarian. I'm still waiting for the audiobook because the audiobook is narrators are Joe Arden and Teddy Hamilton. Intern by Serena Ackroyd. And I read this book because I follow Joe Arden, and he said it was his first romance audiobook, so I immediately used an Audible credit for it. In The Intern, we follow Devin and Micah, and Devin and Micah had a one-night stand at this club, and they thought they would never see each other again. Turns out the next day they meet each other at work. Devin is the boss at a publishing company, and Micah is the intern. And they try to resist their attraction to each other, but they can't do it. But they keep their relationship a secret because Micah works for Devin, and it's their romance. It's an age gap romance. Trigger warnings for essay. Side character sexually assaulted Meekan. I forgot to mention it was a woman that Joe Arden did a phenomenal job with the audiobook. Meekan. It made me I can't pronounce his name, but a woman did it. What Meekan went through. Oh, he just put so much emotion to it. I really loved it, and it was an age gap romance of 16 years. Yes, they slept together a lot, but it took them a while to admit that they're in love with each other, and I love that Devlin was there for Meekan after what he went through. Meekan essentially has nobody because his parents disowned him after they found out he was gay. So I really liked it. They did a phenomenal job with the audiobook. It was Joel Arden and Jacob Morgan. And if you haven't heard Joel Arden and Jacob Morgan do English British accents, you really should, because they did great with the accents. Those are all the recommendations I have for you today. Let me know if you have read any of these books. I would love to know. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. And I'll see you Friday. Bye.